Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's presentation on a GIS-based parking management and guidance information system. My name is Evans Karanja. I'm a location intelligent enthusiast, and it's because of my passion and interest in location analytics within the GIS and the tech ecosystem. Kindly allow me to start with this quote by Jack Dejermond. For those who don't know, Jack Dejermond is the CEO and founder of Esri. And he once said that the application of GIS is only limited by the imagination of those who use it. The big question that I always ask myself is, where is the limit of our imagination? And because there is no any scientific proof to measure our imagination, the best way to think of this is try to imagine how far you can imagine if there's something like that. And if you try to imagine how far you can imagine, realize that there's this infinite space that you cannot really go beyond it. So if our application is based on, the application of GIS is really based on our imaginations, then it means that we have a big way to go. And the only thing that we are doing now is just scratching the surface. GIS has become a buzzword of late, like just some tech names like machine learning, and so everyone wants to learn GIS, and there's always a topic: is GIS a science, is GIS a tool? But the way I like to think of GIS is more not only what it is, but what we can be able to achieve with it. What I believe and how I perceive GIS, I think of GIS as a tool that really opened the world to the power of geography. It's where the science of integration lies, and it is the starship, or rather the rocket, to propel us to a better future. GIS encompasses various components. One of the key components that will be of my key interest in this presentation is geovisualization. Within GIS, we achieve geovisualization through maps. And earlier we used to access them through the hard copy way. But with the invention of the internet in the late 19th century and the 21st century, with the power of the internet, you can be able to access these maps interactively within the internet and in real time. So with that power of geovisualization, how can I think of GIS and parking? And before you can get into GIS and parking, it's good to understand what really parking is. So I tried to look for the most simplest definition I could get in the internet, and this is what I got. So parking is the act of bringing a vehicle to halt and leaving it temporarily, typically in a car park or by the side of the road. We have different types of parking. We have on-street parking, off-street parking. On-street parking is parking a vehicle by the side of the road, or basically along the curb of the roads. Off-street parking is parking a vehicle anywhere, but not on the streets. It includes places like private lots, garages, and driveways. This is a pictorial context of both the on-street parking and off-street parking within Nairobi city. On my left is the on-street parking. As I said, on-street parking is parking a vehicle along the curb or by the side of the road, while off-street parking is parking vehicles on parking lots or maybe building parkings. So the problem statement, what's the issue with parking? So parking management is one of the most under-researched component of a trip. Most of the research is centered between the origin and the destination. This is evident where most governments are putting more resources in building expressways, highways, and roads, and not really factoring the end of each trip, where does this vehicle park? Finding a vacant parking space in Nairobi CBD has been described as going through a game of maze. As per a survey undertaken by IBM in 2011, it was found that motorists in Nairobi take an average of about 1.7 minutes before finding a vacant parking space, as compared to the global average of 19.8 minutes. This in turn has led to most motorists to end up not reaching their desired destination and basically giving up. Why is this study important? Or why is it important to develop a parking management system? So a study conducted by the International Parking Institute in 2018 found that the demand for a guidance system to help drivers was one of the top emerging trends in parking for the year. Parking is quite dynamic in nature, in essence that a parking slot may be occupied and in the next 10 or so minutes is vacant. Thus, the need to develop an effective and efficient means of managing parking cycles within our cities. That will eliminate the agony of accessing available parking slots and also provide a tool for better management of the relevant authorities. As they say, you can never know where you're heading if you don't know where you're coming from. So as I try to conceptualize a parking management system, it's good to discuss the current system. So the current system is currently running on a USS code at *235 and 647. One is being run by KRA and the one is the one used to be used by the previous authority, the county government. The CBD has approximately 14,864 parking spaces, where 3,834 are off-street parking, 3,941 are on-street parking, 7,089 are building parking. The system conceptualization of the parking system. What are my ideas of when I was really visualizing about creating an effective and efficient parking system? So a parking system with 3 components. We have the user component, the staff component, and the admin component. The user component is basically the motorists, and these are the features, or this is what we'll be able to achieve within the system. One is to identify a vacant parking slot. 2 is to locate the identified parking. 3 is to pay based on duration as compared to the current system where there's a standard fee. And lastly is to be able to track our parking status. So the staff component is basically the parking attendants, and the staff component is just an advanced user component where he has more privileges. His or her role can be able to monitor and manage the parking spaces. Then finally, the last component is the staff component. The staff component is a superior staff, and he or she can be able to add a new staff or make a user to be a staff, or basically make a user to be a parking attendant. Then lastly is to be able to monitor the system performance, basically through visualization through a dashboard. The system implementation and development. So when we think of a system, it encompasses of various components. So this is just a simplified diagram discussing the different component of an application. So on the farthest left, we have a database. Then we also have a sensor system. Then we have a backend system and a front-end system. The purpose of the database is basically to store information and data on behalf of the system. The sensor system basically monitors, or is basically the eyes of the system on ground, and its purpose is to be able to determine the vacancies of each parking space. The backend system is the brain of the system. It's where the logic, most of the logic happens. And then we have the front-end system. The front-end system basically, it's where the users can interact with the system. This is where it defines the user interface. The mode of communication between the sensor system and the backend system is WebSockets. As you know, there are different communication protocols within computers. I chose to use the WebSocket because WebSocket is a bidirectional communication, which allows communication in real time, as compared to where the backend and the frontend system, where we have the HTTP and the HTTP protocol. The HTTP protocol, with the big difference between the HTTP protocol and the WebSocket, it's that the HTTP, you have to initiate the transaction. So the front-end system can be accessed either through a mobile, a tablet, or either a laptop. So that is just a simplified conceptualization of the system. The database can be viewed as a database server. The sensor system is also viewed as the Internet of Things. Then the backend system is where we have the application server, and the front-end system is the web server. The system implementation, basic. So the database to be used in the development of the application is PostgreSQL. So PostgreSQL is a free and open source a relational database management system, which basically emphasizes on extensibility and SQL compliance. We'll also use the PostGIS extension, which basically has the support of geospatial data. Postgres being standalone can be able to understand the geospatial language. So we need something like PostGIS extension will add the spatial capabilities. So the parking occupancy detection system makes up of the sensor system, and its main goal is to determine if a parking space is engaged or not. We have different types of sensors. On the right, we have in-ground and service mount. The picture below is a representation of an in-ground sensor. So I didn't really go much into the development of the sensor system. What I did is I was able to try to simulate the information that I'll get into the sensor. So the backend system, as I said, the backend system is the core of the application. So the backend system is developed using Python. Python is an interpreted high-level general purpose programming language. High level means that it's highly abstracted as compared to the low-level languages such as C, where you have to manage some of the key issues in programming like memory management. In Python, all memory management issues are really handled for you, and your work is just to write the code. Interpreted, it means that each line of the code is interpreted rather than being compiled the whole file. General purpose, Python can be used for many purposes, one being web development, software development or other application development, machine learning, and also in Internet of Things. So being a multi-purpose language, it's good to synchronize into different packages that will be used for certain specific purpose. And one of the key framework that is built on behalf of Python is Django. So Django is designed to encourage rapid development and clean and pragmatic design. There's also another layer of Django, which is GeoDjango. And GeoDjango really has the spatial capabilities within Django, and really makes it easier to develop GIS apps. The third framework within Django is Django REST framework and Django REST framework GIS. So Django is developed on using the MVT architecture, but I felt it wise to change that architecture into something called MVC, which is model view controller, and just let Django really handle the model and views. And the controller will be handled by the front end. Basically, the Django REST framework, I can be able to access the data from the database into as a RESTful APIs. A RESTful APIs means that the data from the database will be gotten as an API, or rather JSON API. So some of the key APIs incorporated within the bucket system, we have Africa Stocking API. So African Stocking API is an SMS API, which allows you to send real-time SMS notification from your system. I also have Safaricom Lipa na M-Pesa Online. So Safaricom Lipa na M-Pesa Online allows you to initiate M-Pesa transaction within your system. The front-end system. So the front-end system defines the user interface, and it contains key web development languages such as HTML, which is used for markup, CSS for styling, and JavaScript for interactivity. So the JavaScript used here is React.js, which is a library for JavaScript, and it allows you to develop a single page application. By single page application, it means that you only develop one HTML page and let JavaScript handle the rest and display the rest interactively. Being a web map, so the GIS component within the frontend is Leaflet.js. So Leaflet.js allows you to create web maps. And for this case, I used Mapbox tiles. I also needed geocoding features, and this was provided using the Google Geocoding API. Getting a user's location is very critical within the system, and this was also achieved using HTML5 location API. I also used a Mapbox routing API to be able to find the routes within where the user is, and basically to be able to allow the users to be able to locate the parking lot. System demonstration. So kindly allow me to demonstrate the system. You can also watch the video on YouTube. Just go and search ParkFT. So I'll stop sharing this screen and really open a new screen with the system. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ParkFT. So ParkFT is a web app, a web application, which basically aims at eliminating the agony of searching for parking spaces within Nairobi CBD. On the left of it, we have a small description about the application. Then on the right is the authentication page. So this is the login form. So if you don't have an account, there's an option for you to sign up. For you to create an account, you are required to provide the following parameters. So we have the email, first name, last name, password, and repeat password. I already have an account, so probably it's good to just sign in. So I'll enter my email address and the password. So the system automatically authenticated me and redirected me to this page. So on the header portion of it, we have the system welcomes you, and there's also a sign out option. The key interest on this page is on the left panel, where you have to define the type of parameters. It will provide the parameters that will determine what type of parking space we'll get. So as I said, there are two different types of parking. We have on-street and off-street parking. So if you click on-street, the system will query for only on-street parking slots. If you provide off-street parking, the system will only search for off-street parking spaces. Choose destination to park. So you may want to search for parking spaces within your vicinity. So if you want to search for parking spaces within the vicinity, we'll click this, reserve within my vicinity. If you want to search for parking slot within a different area, you can be able to search, maybe you want to park around Nation Center. There's another option for only made for people living with disability. And I thought this was really important to enable people with disability to be able to identify parking spaces made for them. So this map here, it's, as I said, it's provided by Leaflet, and these are map box tiles. So for this case, I'll choose on-street parking, and I'll try to reserve within my vicinity, and let's see what kind of parking spaces it will provide. So the system sent the request to the backend system, and the backend was able to query the database, and these five parking spaces were provided for us. So to be able to reserve, you just have to click one icon of the parking, and a pop-up will appear. So this is where you fill in the details about your vehicle. We have different options: pickup, Nissan, motorbike, tuk-tuk, canter, lorry, taxi. I'll choose private. The vehicle registration number, I'll enter the current KCZ123W. The duration, due to time limit, I'll have around 5 minutes. And then the M-Pesa mobile number. Mind you, the amount is computed based on the duration you reserve. So I click proceed. So once you proceed, the system redirects you to this confirmation page where we are.
Evans, we lost you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
Oh, sorry for that case. So we have the vehicle type, the registration number, the duration, the mobile number, the amount. So for this case, the amount is coded to 1 bob. The reason is because I didn't want my money to be the guinea pigs for this case. So I had coded the amount to be 1 bob because that's what I'm really risking to lose. So You can either cancel the reservation, but if you want to continue, just click confirm reservation. The system will try to process the payment, and a pop-up will be an STK push message prompt will be sent to your device, as you can see in this case. So it's asking me, do you want to pay $1 to Safaricom test APIs for account number Nairobi parking? So if I agree, I just have to enter my PIN and click enter. Click OK. So the system will try to process my payments. And voila, the system was able to process our payments and redirected to this page. I hope you can be able to see my screen. So this is the route of accessing that parking space. On the left side is a small description of accessing that parking space. On this side, we have a panel which basically tracks your reservation status. You can be able to extend your reservation if you wish, and also you can be able to cancel your reservation. So this is basically the user component, which is basically the motorist where he is able or she is able to reserve his or her parking space. The other component that I said it was the staff. This time I've signed in as a different user called Vincent. And if you see Vincent as a bunch on the far right, named staff. If for normal user, there isn't any bunch, but if we are assigned as a user with different privilege, we'll be able to see the different privileges that we have. So Ernest is signed in as an admin, so he has more privileges than the staff. So to view the staff privileges, as I said, the staff, its work is to be able to manage the parking cycles. So you can be able to view the active parking. So if I click, there's one active parking that I reserved. There's also some 2 illegal parking spaces. The other user is the admin. The purpose of the admin is you can be able to do what a normal user can do. So we can be able to view the active parking. You can be able to see the illegal session. And the other thing is able to view the dashboard. So this is a simplified dashboard. You can be able to see the types of vehicle reserved. So we have the private, the Nissan, the pickup, and everything. Then you can be able to see the different types of vehicles that have been reserved on Mondays or the different days of the week. We have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then the last one, this is the dashboard of the revenue amount accrued within the system. This is just a simplified dashboard trying to show what the admin can be able to see. The other privileges you can be able to add a staff. So basically that's all about Park Fiti. Allow me to show you something on. So the moment we are able to reserve, the moment you reserve, you get this notification that we have reserved as your reservation was successfully for KCZ 123W for 5 minutes. This is just the SMS notification that's sent you from the system. If your duration is almost expiring, let's say 1 minute to, the system will send you another prompt telling you that your session is almost over. Kindly extend your reservation if you wish. And if you wish, you may go and extend your reservation. A minute. So our reservation is over, and the system tells us, sorry, your reservation session is over. Thank you for using Park Fiti. You can be able to reserve again if you wish, or you can be able to sign out. The system also sends us this prompt telling us the session is over. You have 5 minutes to vacate the parking space before your vehicle is impounded. The other key message that we get is from Safaricom, which basically is to show the message that the transaction that we did confirm sent to Safaricom test API for Nairobi parking space. So that's a simplified part fit is basically what I might call an MVP. Basically, an MVP is a minimal viable product or a prototype of a Nairobi parking system. So what's the future of this system? So the future updates that I think of making in the application is to make the application to be more intelligent. Basically, by being intelligent is the application to be able to give you not only the available parking spaces, but to be able to do something like machine learning to determine which is the most suitable parking space around you. As you may know that the closest parking space may not be the nearest when it comes to accessibility. The third future update that I'm thinking of is to interlink with USSD and try to see how those guys who don't have a smartphone, how they can be able to use the ParkFit system. Thank you so much, and you can reach me via my email, and you can also visit my website portfolio at bit.ly.evanskaranja. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you very much, Evans, for the presentation. I think it's I don't know whether you can hear me. Evans, can you hear me?
Hello, yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I think it's very exciting that you have an output. You've developed the system from an output, and it can be used even dynamically. So I think before I ask any questions, I would want to ask if there's anyone with any question. So you can just unmute and then ask your question.
Oh, yes. Oh, I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Oh, my name is Evans Karanja. I think this system is an amazing one. I hope implemented in our city, our towns. And okay, I have only one question from programming viewpoint. Evans, the emphasis the Safaricom emphasis you build it where
So Evans, I just unmuted everyone so that then you can unmute yourself and ask the question, because there were some other voices. So kindly just unmute yourself and ask the question. Evans
yes.
only.
Oh yes, I was saying I was asking the M-Pesa Safaricom API. Did you create it, or did you buy it, or where did you get it? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Evans, my namesake. Well, Safaricom provides an API. As I said, an API is just a software intermediary that allows two applicants to talk to each other. So there's the Safaricom API. Safaricom provides the API through Safaricom Daraja API. So you can just go and Google Daraja API, and they provide a sandbox and the other instruction for interlinking the API within your software. There's a Python API, there's a Node.js API, or rather the JS API, PHP. You can try to look within it, which will be able to suit you.
Thank you.
Any other question?
I have a question.
Yeah, thank you.
Did you incorporate Google Map locations into the system, or did you make your own?
Include Google Maps on, how do you mean?
As in, did you include the Google Map did you use a Google Map API, or you had one you developed one by yourself? And then the other question that you could also answer is, there's a question on why did you prefer React JS as opposed to other JS frameworks? So you could answer the two questions at the same time.
Okay, Google Maps provides various API. I didn't really want to use the Google Maps API standalone because it's a proprietary API where they charge you based on the clicks. For the mapping, I opted to use Mapbox API based that it's a free resource. Why I used React.js, it's my proficiency. I'm really good in, I know there are various libraries for JavaScript, but I basically use React.js because of my proficiency within using it.
Okay, thank you. As we wait for the other question, there's this consistent question, like when you're speaking about the particular tools that you use, there was Django, there are many aspects that you used. So for another student, how do you advise them on which tools to use to be able to implement this kind of system? How do they know that I need JavaScript, I need PostgreSQL, I need PostGIS? What method do you use to know the particular tools that you need to use for an application like this?
In the software programming process, there are key factors that really determine what language you use or what kind of frameworks you'll use. All frameworks are different. The reason why, why I may really, one of the things that may be a guiding thing to you is, one is the proficiency. Are you really proficient in Python? Are you proficient in PHP? Are you proficient in C++? So one of the key factors is your proficiency. How good are you in that language, on that framework? The other thing is what resources are available for you, and what do you want to achieve within that framework? For instance, there are various Python web frameworks like Django, there's Flask, and many more. Django, it has a huge community, so if you have an issue, you can be able to get assistance easily. The other thing, Django, it's heavyweight, so which means there are more features bundled within it. I think those two are one of the key features or parameters we may look when deciding what way to go.
Okay, yeah, so again, this is still open for questions and answers. If anyone has a question, you still can ask about it. The question that I would want to ask Evans, even as we wait for other questions, assuming there's another student who wants to build on to what you have done, first, is the app accessible? Is it open so that someone can be able to learn what you did? And then the second aspect is, what particular questions didn't you pursue that the next person then can be able to pursue if they were interested?
Okay, well, the code is open source. You can access the code on my GitHub page. I can share the link to my GitHub page. The other question or research question, as I said, this is what I've been able to achieve is I'm just scratching the surface. There's a lot to be done. One is, how do I make the application? You can pursue to make the application more intelligent. What do I mean by being intelligent? One, as I said, that currently the system is only querying the available parking spaces within the database. As I said, the available parking space may not be really, the nearest parking slot may not be really the one which is closest to you. So we may try to go more on machine learning, do some network analysis, try to see what a suitable parking slot may be to a motorist. One way I was thinking of is maybe like if you're going to do for shopping or to do something else, the system will be able to predict or provide with parking slots that are really around that, maybe shopping malls or what. So that's one point or one way I can see that there's more research that can be done on it, trying to make the system to be more intelligent.
Yeah, so that's very good. At least we normally have such kinds of sessions so that our students can also be able to learn from others. Evans has just finished his bachelor's, and it's amazing that from that he can produce such kind of a system. So it's a challenge also for other students and even for other practitioners on the kind of practical questions that people are asking. I have the contacts of Evans because now we sit with him in the same office. So it means if someone wants to get in touch with Evans, you could email him. The email address is shown here. You could also get in touch with me. And this is just a series of the webinars that they have. So if there's a particular topic that you want captured, you still could get in touch with me, and then we can get a suitable topic for the next time. But otherwise, if there are no questions, I want to thank Evans for the boldness to be able to share, the boldness and the generosity to be able to share his ideas. And I also want to thank the participants for making a show, because without the participants, then we do not have anything to show. And I'm sorry that at the beginning I was not around because I was also presenting somewhere. And I thank Evans and Alvin for standing in and ensuring that everything has gone on well. So if there is no other question, then we call it a day for today. The slides will be available for sharing, and the video will also be online. We decided to be putting them on our YouTube channel. So the videos of these and the previous presentations will also be online if anyone wants to learn anything from what has been shared today. So thank you very much, and have a good afternoon or a good morning or a good evening wherever you are. Good day.